Hello YouTubers, create-a-liscious here. Now I've got a bit of explaining to do, not that I think any of you will be worried or concerned or bothered about what I'm about to say, but I just want to get it off my chest, if you know what I mean. So I'd been up and got myself into a position where I'd got a fair few recordings already done to share with you, and at the weekend, I'm now recording this on a Tuesday, but at the weekend my Mac, which is only about a year old, decided to lose everything. So, yeah, so I've kind of been getting my head around just letting that go, but of course, in terms of my YouTube videos that were all done and ready to publish out onto YouTube, because I use iMovie, and it had deleted everything. We had to reboot my computer back to factory settings, which did not impress me any at all. So, because I don't want to leave it too long and I can't go back and recreate those videos because they were done in the moment, I just thought I'd share with you just a couple of the things that I've done. I've done lots of painted papers, but what I wanted to firstly share with you is another book that I've created, and this was actually started, as you can see, in 2016. And so what it started out as is originally it was for my Zentangle, and for those of you who don't know what Zentangle is, it's pretty much that. Well, not that. It's pretty much using using different shapes, for want of a better word, and putting them into making art. Some of you. So this started off as that, and so I was just thinking, right, okay, I'll just keep the book for Zentangle and just try all my ideas out, try all my Zentangles out, and then I'll have a reference space for them. That was a cross between that and them then. So that's what I started out, and then I got distracted, as I do, and I went off that idea. So this book has now become something else. And again, it started off to be something else, but once again, I've probably been distracted along the way. Or I'm probably going to get distracted along the way, but that's just because I can, and that's just because I do, and that's just because I'm okay with it. So, what is it? What is this little book today? So again, I've got just a hardcover, and I actually liked the cover, so I've left that. I just put a little bit of printy paper on there. But what I decided to do, what came to my head next then was, you know, I take a lot of inspiration from people, philosophers of life, and they just happen to be up the pathway of, you may not have heard of them, like Doreen Virtue and Louise L. Hay and Wayne Dyer and Lao Tzu and all of those philosophers on spirituality and then some. So I decided, because somebody had sent me some beautiful Doreen Virtue cards, and I've got loads of angel cards, unicorn cards, you name the cards, I've probably got it somewhere. And so I found my ones that were loving words of Jesus. Now, don't get me wrong, and I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not of any particular religion, but I love faith and I love religion. So I'm just me in all of it. So what I decided to do was, first of all, this is how it started, and then again, it changed. So, where am I? So this was the first one. I because I'm using these cards on a daily basis to help with my, I'm going to say spiritual unfolding or spiritual, I decided that I was going to use this book to write the cards that I pick every day. And sometimes they're not cards from this particular stack. It could be a unicorn card, but there'll always be a message on there, an inspirational message. So, but this is the one I decided to use. So I wrote it in here, and then I thought to myself, I kind of like the idea of that, having somewhere to put my messages. So I began with my painted papers to write on, stick the painted paper to the page, because the pages are just lined little pages and it's just a normal little book. And so I decided that I was going to use this book to write my messages in, that I would pick a card a day and then write the messages as we went. And of course I thought, then my head got in the way and I thought about that and thought, right, okay, what are the, where's this going to go? Where's it going to lead? And I know I should never ask those questions because that shows that I'm not in my soulful place or my divine, authentic space. I'm in thinking space, which means I'm coming from ego self. So I decided, well, I've got lots of backgrounds, so let's just start before I decide that this is going to be the place for all of my card things, because that just brought up a few issues in my head. I may still use this, but where I went to next was that process of thinking about that took me to this process, and I think that is the unfolding. Don't think about it, go with whatever comes up in your head. So without me getting in the way, I then sat down because I was a little tadly frustrated with the whole losing everything on my computer again, because that's the third time that I've lost everything. I've got most of it backed up on memory stick now, but all the things that were on my desktop and all my videos were not on my so anyway, whatever. So I had to breathe into it and learn to let go again, because a lot of things in the last 2 years I've had to surrender, and I mean lots of things that I would never normally give up. But because I'm on this awakening journey of self, then that is part of my unfolding, to get back to my authentic self and get out of the way, really. So in the process of being a bit glum one day, I decided just to sit and glue and cut. So I'm going to share with you the beauty of the outcome, the disaster of losing all my stuff, and it was a great experience. It wasn't at the time, but it kind of was, because I didn't meet him, but I spoke with a really lovely guy from Apple for 2 hours, who was just great. He was from the UK, but he'd moved to Greece working there, and we had such an amazing chat about travelling and spirituality. So it did turn out to be really, really quite inspiring for both of us, actually. So I decided to use some of my painted papers, and I went through, I needed one side to start off with, and I'm just showing you these just to inspire you again, just to say, if you do get something in your world that your world feels like it's been unzipped and all the contents have fallen out, like mine felt like that again when this happened to me at the weekend. Wow. It's okay, because I didn't die from it, and it was just not pleasant, again, letting go of ego stuff. But anyway, we hold on so tight because we think we need this stuff, and actually it proved to me it doesn't matter. I've let so much go in the last 2 years, as I say, that this pretty much was one of the smoothest letting go processes I've gone through. And even the guy on the other end, he agreed, and we both had this philosophy come out of it that it's not worth worrying about or getting caught up about. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. We had to reboot and take the system right back to factory settings. There was no other alternative. So that was the only option. That was the only road I could travel down. So I travelled down it and just kept saying, I'm letting this go. It's okay. I'm letting this go. And just don't think about what I'm letting go. Just let it go. And this is what I came up with whilst doing all of that process, while my ego settled down, because she was having a bit of a drama. So my divine self went into, let's get creative and play, because then that hopefully will calm this feeling down that I'm getting, this disturbed feeling of, here I go again, having to let something go. And so I just wanted to share that with you, and share some of the painted papers that I've now stuck to paper. And the process behind this, and this actually, just even doing this and looking through this book, soothed my soul. My soul wasn't out of sync, but soothed my ego to say, it's okay, you know what, it's okay, I've gone through worse situations and I came out of that, and this is not pleasant, but I'm just observing it, and it's not There's nothing I can change about it. There's nothing I can do to alter the situation as it is. So I just got to go with it. So I went with it. And so I'm just going to share with you. So I'm going to start my videos all over again. But you know, I could see the bonus in that is that I wouldn't have got to spoke to this amazing guy in Greece. So I skipped a few there simply because I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get it in once I've done them, whether the book's going to actually close. So I started at the back then, and you know, it's just mindfulness really. I went into mindfulness doing this, and I just wanted to share that with you. Well, I didn't want to share my world with you as such because it happened to me, but I wanted to use it as the inspiration should anything happen to you along those lines. And I'm sure loads of people have lost all their stuff, but when it happens to you and keeps happening to you, it does weigh you down a tad. But does it? Or is that just the ego having a bit of a drama again because it lost all my hard work? But that's okay, because as I said in one of my other videos, my day can start right now, and that's where I'm going with this. So I'm going to share that with you, but I'm also going to share with you a book. In my book I did a page, after I've redone that page. Oh yes, we did this page. And this page, or 2 pages I should say, this was actually after a quote that I found by Jackie Chan. And being still and doing nothing are 2 very different things. And so I just painted the paper on the background, punched out some painted papers again. And actually these painted papers weren't ones that I'd painted, they were ones that I'd crayoned in out of a book and then used that pre-coloured. And the bottom there, this is the border of the pre-cut. And this actually is a painting sideboard, is the drop paper. So I just went around the edges and just went around all of these to highlight them, and then I just stamped on still, all randomly, just to give it a bit more effect. And I just wanted to keep it, I'm going to say, fairly simple, with the statement being still and doing nothing are 2 very different things. And then on this side, this was a piece of card that looks like I don't know what I've done on it. It looks like alcohol ink. And I just stuck that on the other side just to keep it. No, see, again, it stopped recording, so there's definitely still something wrong with this Mac. I don't know where I got up to now. I don't know what I've shown you. So I'm going to have to stop this and then come back to you. In fact, I'm just going to say I'm going to finish this one here because I need to go into another part to see what actually worked on the last part before I can actually make a video of it. So forgive me because this isn't flowing right now, so I'm going to come back another time and share this with you because I need to see whether this is recorded and or not. So anyway, have an amazing day. I believe in you, and keep smiling.